In this most recent cut, I got to a point where I really wanted like some really sweet stuff. And cannoli is one of those things that kind of um, always satisfies that kind of sweet tooth. Um, and I really wanted to try to make a high protein version of it because I know there's a lot of ways that you can do that. Um, so what I had done was developed a recipe for a base cannoli cream that starts with fat-free ricotta cheese. I tried to find the best version I could, so I actually went to Whole Foods. I found this brand, Calabro, which actually tastes really good. It tastes just about like full fat, but if you're not trying to cut the sugar out of this or any of the carbs or fat, just use full fat. The only issue with that is sometimes those have higher amounts of water. So that what I'll do is I'll start with that. I'll put 1 cup of that into my bowl. And then to kind of bump up the protein, I use whey protein powder. You could use any kind of protein powder that you like in this. What I'm going to make today is a kind of a variation on the classic. I'm going to make the birthday cake cannoli, which we're going to actually decorate with some sprinkles, rainbow sprinkles, to make kind of like a funfetti version. So it's a lot of fun. So I found a protein powder made by Purbolics. It's called White Wedding Cake. It is the most intense vanilla flavor that I could find, and it's amazing. So I'm going to use that. So 1 cup of ricotta, 1 scoop of this. Again, you can get a little crazy with the flavors if you want, but I want kind of an intense vanilla flavor for this. I'm going to put in a pinch of salt. Kind of always works when you're working with sweet things. Next, I would like to add a little bit of powdered stevia. I'm going to go with about a tablespoon. The protein powder is kind of on the sweet side, so you might have to add more or less depending on how sweet you want to make this, but you can kind of make it your own. There you could substitute regular sugar, brown sugar. You could add cinnamon, chocolate chips here. What I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to amp up the vanilla flavor. I would always put vanilla in a cannoli cream. So I'm going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And this is our homemade bootleg vanilla extract, which we make by splitting really nice vanilla beans and soaking them in really cheap vodka. Bootleg vanilla extract. We also have these bourbon vanilla bean pastes that I'm actually going to add a little bit to this. A little goes a long way with this, so just a drop. And this has really intense flavors, adds no calories whatsoever. From there, you mix. In order to kind of get it to come together, you're going to want to add some milk or almond milk. I'm using unsweetened vanilla almond milk. You follow the theme. And again, if you wanted to make this normal, you at this point would add, your chocolate chips, your cinnamon. You could use different protein powder flavors. I mean, you could go crazy. You could make a peanut butter cup version by, putting crushed peanuts on top, adding that in. You can add chocolate chips. I mean, the sky's the limit on these. And I could in the comment section below add some kind of variations that you would do. Now this serves 2, so I'm going to show you kind of how I plate it up for just 1. But you want to make sure it's really nice and incorporated. It should make a nice smooth batter. It looks like 1 tablespoon of the almond milk was enough. The first couple times I made this, I tried to use like a 1/4 cup, and that was just way too much. It kind of made it soupy, and that's really not what you want. You want a nice, you want it just to kind of bring everything together, hold it all together for you, and just mix it up really good. Just need to wipe down my spatula a little bit. Doing good there. And that's our cream. So the next step was to try to figure out how could I, you know, a deep fried cannoli shell has a lot of calories. There's a lot of carbs in there. So how could I get that crispy kind of texture I want and keep the sugar low? And I actually found these pizzelle cookies at Whole Foods, which 3 cookies is 70 calories, 3 grams of fat, 10 grams of carbs with only 4 grams of sugar, negligible protein. But these kind of work. I was experimenting with protein waffles, and they came out okay, you know, using that as kind of the base for this. But what I didn't like about it was those are a little bit on the soft side, whereas these are kind of nice and crispy, crunchy. I'll kind of, once I get this open, show you what I'm talking about. Let's see. You can hear it crispy. So my serving size is 3 of these. Then we take our cream, and just kind of pull it out on top. That's it. That's our cannoli. Yeah, I know it's not rolled up, and you know, but sometimes visually you don't have to have exactly what you need. Sometimes just the taste is enough to kind of bring you where you need to be mentally to enjoy kind of the sweet treat. And trust me, when most of your meals are chicken, asparagus, turkey, broccoli, you know, something like this, when it fits into your plan, really helps to mentally bring you to the next day and make it so that you don't go and raid the Italian bakery. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just get a little more here, because this is kind of going to be my meal for the day, for the morning. Okay. I'm going to set that aside. Grab a spoon. I like to serve this on a flat surface. So I'm going to take my rainbow sprinkles, same thing that you would put on an ice cream cone. You don't want to get too carried away with these because these do have some sugar. But, you know, sprinkle on top. Doesn't take much to kind of make that visually eye-popping kind of funfetti, you know, maybe a teaspoon for all 3 combined. And there you have it. There are our high-protein cannolis. So the breakdown here, let me pull up my breakdown. About 200 calories, 14 grams of carbs, 4 grams of fat, mostly from the cookies, and 27 grams of protein. So you can see the balance there is like way shifted in the protein direction, whereas, you know, a normal cannoli would be basically very little protein and a lot of fat and carbohydrates, which really isn't ideal to have. That's kind of how our bodies start to store fat. So really cleaned up well. Obviously, if you add chocolate chips, you're going to bump up the fat and the carbohydrate a little bit, but sometimes you can fit that into your day. So let's get the taste test, see how these came out. Lots of vanilla. Exactly what I was looking for. Kind of the theme here for this particular cannoli is to make it kind of really an amped up version of vanilla. The protein powder really tastes like cake. So this kind of also gives you that birthday cake kind of feeling. And you know, I really enjoy this, and this is definitely something that I would recommend if you're trying to kind of cut your calories, cut your sugar, but you really need that sweet treat to get you through the day. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. Remember to like, comment, subscribe on any post that you see, and I will see you soon.